and thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to be able to go over a little bit about SNAP and our member referral program. So, Maria, if you could go over to the next slide. So today's focus for this webinar will be a few things. While it is about our referral program, I did want to do a quick overview of SNAP and make sure everyone understood what SNAP is, and then review quickly about our food stamps helpline, because that is obviously a part of the referral program, so you understand how that functions. And then we'll certainly go over the member agency SNAP referral program, how that works, how you can register, and the impact that it can make for your agency and the clients that you serve. And finally, we'll talk about some supporting SNAP referral materials that are available to you to help promote the program, as well as help you get successful referrals then. Okay, next. So what is SNAP? Some of you may have heard of it as food stamps. It is formerly known as food stamps. About 10 years ago, food stamps was officially changed to SNAP, which is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It is considered America's safety net for the low-income households to help purchase healthy and nutritious foods. In 2015, it helped more than 45 million low-income Americans purchase additional food for their monthly diets, and it continues to support those that we are really supporting. All right, so how is SNAP administered? SNAP first starts out on the federal side. So SNAP is administered by the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, under FNS, which is Food and Nutrition Service. Food and Nutrition Service is actually an agency of USDA's Food, Nutrition, and Consumer Services. Once they set their rules and their policies, they then disseminate that to the state. The state then operates the SNAP program in Pennsylvania. It's Department of Human Services that oversees the SNAP program, where some of you may know it better as Department of Welfare, which that changed several years ago too. They are now referred to as DHS, or Department of Human Services. A lot of states, DHS or welfare programs do run SNAP, but there are some organizations that are not a DHS or welfare that run it. But in Pennsylvania, it's DHS. So after that, DHS then disseminates the program on a county level through county assistance offices, which is what the acronym there is, CAOs. CAOs are the ones that determine a household's eligibility. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so I told you this is going to be quick. We're just going over things really quick. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me in the middle of it or ask at the end. I'm more than happy to answer them. I think if anybody's ever been on any of our SNAP webinars, we typically try and cover this all the time just to make sure that you are aware of it. I think it's very helpful for you to know how SNAP is created and where it comes from. So policy, rules, and income guidelines. So most of the rules and policies and benefit levels are, for the most part, set at a federal level, and they're uniform across the United States. However, states do have flexibility to tailor the SNAP program for their state. And what that means is they really can take a look at what their needs are as a state and what would be more beneficial to their populations that they serve within their state. So, for example, recently we just had a policy called ABOD, able-bodied adults without dependents, come back in play, and that was because the unemployment rate had dropped below the 10% mark, and a lot of states just said, okay, the policy's back in effect, and we will make that go into effect for all counties, all people. What Pennsylvania did is they really took a deeper dive and looked at it and said, hold up, even though there's less than 10% unemployment rate nationwide, there are still some pockets here in Pennsylvania that are more than 10%. So they took a look at those counties as well as cities and determined who would be exempt from this policy. So there are still some exemptions within that. Another example would be asset testing. Asset testing 2 years ago was removed for Pennsylvania, and that meant, especially for seniors, that assets were no longer counted. So if you owned your home, if you owned a car, if you owned a burial plot, that was no longer counted against you for your to see what your income, what your eligibility would be for SNAP. Other states still have that policy in place. So that's kind of where that flexibility for the states to be able to tailor the program to their needs comes from. So then income guidelines, they are set at a federal level. And at a federal level, income guidelines are 130% of the poverty level across the board. And then for seniors that are 60 or older and those that are disabled, they have them set at 160% of the poverty level. In Pennsylvania, again, they took a look at what their needs are here, what their population's average income is, and determined that they would set their income guidelines at 165% of poverty level. And then for seniors and those that are disabled, they have set that at 200% of the poverty level. So you can see on the screen now, we have the current guidelines listed here. And these are guidelines that are effective through September 30th, 2017. Each year, October 1, guidelines do change. They don't go up drastically, but they do go up by a couple of dollars and can make a difference for some people. But you can see that it's broken down by household size. So this is probably the most important thing to understand when you're talking to your clients about SNAP, is to understand household composition. So the household composition for SNAP is very different than it is for some other government programs. A household, definition of a household for SNAP means if they buy, eat, and prepare food together. So that's buy, eat, and prepare food together. And that means whether they're related or whether they are roommates. If they're roommates and they buy their food separately and prepare it separately, then they have to be able to show that. Because sometimes if there's questions within the county, they will come and investigate that. Okay, so that's the biggest thing for you to understand when you're looking at somebody's gross monthly income you want to make sure you understand and they understand the household, what a household is, so you get that size correctly. I do believe we have a question.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Judy, for the question. She's asking, is this the breakdown in income guidelines for Pennsylvania?
Yes, it is. And then those income guidelines, like I said, will change every October 1st, and we try and get them out as soon as possible. I do believe they always go up. I don't know of a situation of them going down. So if you were to have old guidelines, it's not necessarily going to hurt the situation, but it is always nice to know that you have a couple extra dollar flexibility there. Thanks for the question. Okay, so a little bit about our food stamps helpline. So we are a team of 4, and or I like to say 3.5 because we do have a part-timer. But we are a small team, but a very mighty team, and we're all very passionate and about what we do and helping our clients, and we all love really love the work that we do. We are very fortunate in being able to say that we have a bilingual helpline. You'll see a photo there, and that's Loina de Jesus, and she is actually in our Lancaster satellite office, and she is also our Spanish speaking associate. So she is a very valuable player there, having those two languages that she can help us out with. So the helpline is free and it's confidential. The application process starts with a simple screening. We will verify their income and their household size, and then after that we'll do a quick 5-minute screening, and that really is asking for their name and their address, and then also we talk to them about their income and their utility expenses such as rent, if it's a mortgage, what kind of property taxes and homeowners insurance do they pay, and if they have to pay heating and cooling. So a few basic questions. Like I said, it takes about 5 minutes for us to do that, and we do that because it helps us determine their eligibility. Once we plug in all of this information we've collected from them, down at the bottom it calculates for us what their eligibility may be, and lets us know how much they could be eligible for. So overall, this particular piece really saves everybody time. If it looks like they're way over, because the screening ends up breaking it down to a net income. So if it looks like they're way over the net income guideline, then we don't want to waste their time and have that denial and make them wait 30 days for that denial. So after we do the screening and it looks as though that they are eligible, we will do their application for them over the phone, online, and we submit their application straight to the county assistance office. Once it gets to the county assistance office, it's out of our hands. We don't have the final say of their approval or their denial. However, we do continue to follow up with each and every client that we do work with, whether that's one of our SNAP associates or we do have a volunteer that helps us with that as well. So we do make sure that we try and make contact with every client. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think as we all know, sometimes their phones are no longer functioning after we've already spoken to them. But we do try and follow up with each and every one of them to make sure that they understand the process. If they're having trouble with their verification forms to get to a caseworker, we help them with that, etc. So after that, then we just, once they get their benefits, they go into our database, and then we will be starting in the new fiscal year trying to catch those that need renewals. So we have recertification dates in our computer in our database, and we'll be running reports to try and do renewals for those same clients so that they don't fall off of the system. And then in addition to that, we also try and provide our clients with additional resources such as free cell phones. If you're eligible for food stamps, you should be eligible for a free government phone. If you have children and you are receiving food stamps, you should be getting free and reduced meals. There's also a Comcast Essentials internet package that is available for families with children in school. So there's some additional resources that are available on this paper that we mail out to them. So, and I believe we have another question.
Yes, we do, Tara.
Okay.
How did you know? This is a question from Laura. Laura asks, just to verify, if a family is over the income guidelines, may they still qualify if they have high housing expenses?
That's a really great question, Laura. More than likely, they are not going to be eligible, but I would encourage them to call us and try. It'll at least, it just takes us 5 minutes to do that screening, and that's what's going to help us determine what their eligibility probably would be. And by the way, the screening, we just didn't make it up. Like, I just didn't type some numbers in and stuff and just said, hey, look, I think this will tell us whether or not they're eligible. This screening tool actually gets approved by the Department of Human Services, so it is legit. But ultimately, as we always say, it is up to the caseworker. But typically, if your gross monthly income is over the limit and you still have high expenses, probably not going to be eligible. Very good question. Thank you. Okay, so since we've reviewed our helpline, let's talk about this member agency SNAP referral program. We started this about 2 years ago, and it really has been a fantastic addition to our SNAP outreach. Agencies are working with the people that we are trying to reach. So this program it just goes hand in hand. Now, this program is all about free money for agencies. I mean, honestly, it is. I want to give you money. I want to give you free money.
That's awesome.
Yes, right?
It's pretty easy, isn't it?
Exactly. Let me tell you how easy it is to get free money from us. So, Maria's looking at me like I'm nuts. All right, so our referral program is just that simple. You can see that there is a document on the right-hand side of your screen that says SNAP Food Stamps Referral, and this is the referral form that we ask for you to fill out as an agency. Once this is filled out, you would fax, email, or snail mail, although I will say snail mail is not preferred because it takes a little bit longer to get to us, but whatever way you want to take a picture of it with your cell phone and send to me that way, I don't care. But this is the referral form that we prefer for you to fill out and send to us that collects the data that we need to be able to start that conversation with your client. You'll see that we collect their name, phone number, and the county that they live in, and then what's really important too is that we know what their language is so that we can send this referral to the appropriate associate. If they don't speak English or Spanish, unfortunately, we're going to have to refer them to their county assistance office and then have them request their translation service, which is mandatory for county assistance offices to provide. What we need from you is legible writing so that we can see the person's name and the number, but we also need you to verify two things. We need you to verify that they're not already receiving food stamps, and we also need you to verify their gross monthly income, okay? Once you verify those two things and they're not receiving food stamps and they meet the gross monthly income guidelines, that's what we consider a good referral. All right, so as long as we can get a hold of that client, it's a good referral, and we're going to give you credit for that referral. This referral does not have to turn into an application in order to receive your $5 credit on account. Okay, so again, I just want to repeat that a good referral means that they are not receiving food stamps and that they meet the gross monthly income guidelines, and we can actually get a hold of the client. That's what qualifies as a good referral, and that will earn you a $5 credit on account for each referral. Okay. So the other thing too that I want to just reinforce with you all is that when you're filling these referral forms out, you cannot force a client to do this. All right, you simply, when you're talking to a client, ask them, do you receive food stamps? And they say no, say, oh, well, you know, the Central PA Food Bank could help you sign up for them. Are you interested? If they're interested, please sign them up. If they say no, thank you, please just end the conversation there. Don't make them feel as though they have to fill this referral form out in order to receive food from your agency. Or also, the other thing that you can't do is ask them for proof of income. Because that's not up to the agent, it's not up to you as an agency, and it's not up to us as the Central PA Food Bank, we don't ask for income verification. We ask them what it is for their application, but we don't ask them to verify it with paperwork. That's the county's job. Okay. All right, I think we could go to the next slide and talk a little bit more about how to get started. Okay, so how do we get started? How do you get started with being a part of this member agency referral program? Real easy. To register today, you would want to fill out a registration form, and we can go ahead and email these out to you after the webinar. You can also find them online on our website under the download and resource section, and then there's a tab that says SNAP, and you would be able to find the brochure there as well. So you want to fill that out, and that's so that I can have you guys in our system, and accounting knows that you're part of the program, and that when I ask them to put money on your account, they know it's legit. All right. So once we get you registered, then we just want you to start talking with your clients. Have some conversations with them. Ask them if they're receiving SNAP benefits. Let them know that, you know, you have a partner that can help them with that. And then, you know, submit those referral forms to us. We ask that you submit these referral forms in a timely manner. This is really important because when we don't receive referrals in a timely manner, we lose that person. What we're finding is, A, we can't get a hold of them. They're either out of minutes on their phone, or they have a new phone, it's gotten shut off. We just simply cannot get a hold of them for one reason or another. Or the other thing we're finding is that when we don't get the referral in a timely manner, the clients are already applying for benefits for themselves. And we're happy that they're taking this initiative, but we want to make sure that we do their application so we can continue to follow up with them so that they follow through with the entire application process, because we do find a lot of people that just fall through the cracks. Okay, so the other thing I want to let you know too is we do have some agencies that don't fill these referral forms out just because of the nature of how their agency functions, just the way that their distribution functions. And so if for some reason somebody from your agency calls and says, oh, so, you know, XYZ agency referred me to call the helpline and apply for SNAP benefits, we will still give you that credit. Okay. We also have some agencies that don't use the referral form, but they've actually made little cards and handed out to their clients that says, you know, to sign up for food stamps, call this number. And on the bottom it says, when calling, let them know we referred you. So we really are very flexible. Let's see. Okay, so then another way as well is, you know, display the SNAP materials at your facility, get the word out, let them see it. The more they see this and hear you talking about it, the more comfortable they're going to be with calling us or receiving a call from us, and be apt to apply for that. Another thing that we can do for you is we can schedule on-site screenings at your food pantry with one of our food bank SNAP outreach associates. We don't necessarily do the applications on site because they do sometimes can take a little bit longer, and we end up losing a lot of other people to be able to speak with and help. But we do screenings because, like I said, they take us about 5 minutes. We don't seem to lose the rest of the crowd to reach out to. And lastly, new year, new self-declaration forms equals ask your clients if they receive SNAP. This is one of the easiest times to really send your referral forms in because you're already interacting with the clients with needing to get them to fill out the new declaration form for the new fiscal year. So this is when we really do encourage a lot of the newer agencies that have just joined us to do this because you're going to have that opportunity to interact with all of your clients. Okay. All right. So quickly. Oh, I'm sorry. We have 2 questions. questions.
One was, there we go. I know, there's, Tammy, if you could please type in your question, or I can unmute you in a second. But Laura had another question about the income.
Okay.
To include child support included in that amount. She was wondering about that.
Okay, great question. So when we look at the income, that was such an awesome question, Laura. When we talk about income with the clients, we're going to first say, do you have any earned income? Meaning, are you working? All right. So we break it down a couple different ways. Then the second thing we're going to ask about their income is if they have any unearned income, disability, Social Security, unemployment. Then another question that we will ask separately is if they receive child support or if they pay child support. So no, the answer to your question, no, we do not want that full income to include their child support. We want that, we want to know that separately. Okay, so income would, when you as an agency are looking at that gross monthly income, you're going to talk to them about earned and unearned income. Hopefully that answers your question, Laura. If not, please let us know.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Question from Judy. Judy is asking, are all counties in Pennsylvania available through SNAP? Just to confirm, you mentioned about some counties and cities don't follow a timeline. Someone from our facility thought there are specific counties and cities that are not participating in the program.
Okay, so I think I might understand where that that's coming from, but yes, every county, all 67 counties in Pennsylvania are eligible for the SNAP program. Now, there's a couple things going on right now. So the one thing I talked to you about was ABOD, which was able-bodied adults without dependents. And so with that, if it gets a little complicated and I can give you more resources or explain this at another time, but if somebody is of 50 years of age or younger and does not have a dependent or a disability, there are certain requirements, work requirements that they have to meet in order to keep their food stamp benefits. If they do not, they only receive 3 months worth of benefits for 3 years. Now, that policy, there's some exemptions in certain counties, meaning that ABOD policy is not in effect. Doesn't mean that SNAP is not being offered. It just means that policy is not being offered or is not in place, okay? And a lot of that is just because of some of the rural areas as well as unemployment issues. Now, along those notes, I also want to mention I've had a few phone calls from some people saying, hey, I heard our county assistance office is going to close. They're not closing. There's some proposal through DHS that they are going to start taking CAO offices and consolidating them into the current processing centers they have statewide, as well as make 2 additional processing centers. But they do understand how important it is to have a county assistance office in each county, if not multiple ones, and will be keeping them opened with a few employees. That's something we're actually going to get more in depth about. I'm going to do a shameless plug at the AR conference on August 25th. We do have a workshop, and we will certainly be talking about some of the changes happening on a federal and a state level for that. So, any other questions?
Yes,
okay.
Tammy typed in her question. Thank you, Tammy. She asked if she's able to receive the additional resources to share with families about the Comcast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, definitely. We'll definitely get you those. In fact, the additional resource page that we hand out is kind of geared specifically towards the SNAP client. So we kind of reworked it for agencies. And Maria, think you have that too. So we can definitely let's email that out to everybody,
Sure.
and that way you have that available to sit at your agency. That would be great. And then, and please note, if you guys have any questions about those resources, so that you can be better educated about it, to talk to your clients about it, please feel free to email me or call me. I'll be happy to walk you through that and explain it a little bit more in depth, okay?
Okay, very good.
Okay.
One question I can answer.
Yeah,
I can answer.
yay.
Chris Pollock, thank you for your question. She's asking, hey, shout out. She's asking about when the new self-declaration of need form is going to be available for the 2017, when the time, July 1st. Chris, they are available now. We will be able to send them to you as well as an attachment. We're going to add them to our website and to share with folks as well. So they've been published, but you're not able to start using them until July 1st. And the guidelines have changed a little bit. So be wary of that and make sure you're using the current form come July 1st. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. And let's see if there are any other questions. If not, we want to do a shout out to our good friend Jen Karelja up in the Northern Tier. She's the agency services manager. Jen, we're going to have you just say hello to everyone and see if you have anything to add. Go ahead, Jen.
There you go. Hi, how are you?
We're good. Very good. Anything that you wanted to add, Jen?
No, this is very helpful just for me. So to pass on to all of our partners up here.
Okay, very good. And we're going to share all the information so that when you're on-site visits, visiting those folks in the Northern Tier about the referral form, the new self-tech form, all of that good stuff to share with those agencies. And we do have 2 final slides. We are almost wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I apologize. I told Maria, I'm like, oh, I could do this one quick in 30 minutes, and I see that I've gone over my time. So I apologize, and I thank you for staying on board with us here. But real quick, I really wanted to just talk quickly about the impact of one good referral, what that impact can really make for your agency. So this comes from our guru, Ryan, in the finance department. But if you have 30 pounds, if you have one good referral, it can provide 30 pounds of food or 25 meals. What? It could also, or it could provide 10 quarts of milk, which equals 40 servings of fresh milk. Or 100 pounds of fresh produce, which equals 83 meals.
Wow.
So, your one good referral, that $5 credit, will certainly make a difference for your purchasing power that you have here at the Central PA Food Bank. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the supporting materials that we have available for this member agency referral program. So right now, you did get to see a little snippet of the referral forms. We do provide you with that. We also have available flyers, posters with or without tear tabs for your facility. We have rack cards, which is what's posted there on the right-hand side. They come double-sided. One side's English, one side's Spanish. And just so you know, all of our materials do come in English or Spanish. And we can provide them as electronic files or provide you with hard copies, whatever really works out well best for your agency. Coming soon to an agency near you would be a couple tutorial videos. So what we're finding is, we really want to make sure that everyone's using their time in the best way and providing solid referrals. And we know even if you're the one signing up for the referral program, you may not be the one taking the referral, but yet you know the ins and outs of the program and understand that process. And so we are in the middle right now of developing an orientation video that will help your staff and any volunteers that you may be using to better understand the process, the do's and don'ts, and how to provide a good referral. And then we're also going to be providing you with agency-specific referral cards. So what is that? because it kind of sounds like, huh? Did you just make that up? So they're going to be, remember I talked to you about one of our agencies currently makes their own card that has, hey, call this number, and then let them know that they referred, or that we referred you. That's kind of what we're going to do. So it's going to be a generic card, but there's going to be a little fill in the blank that we can do. And we're going to make this a fillable PDF. So we can send this to you electronically. You can open it up and you can fill in the little blank with your agency name, print them off, hand them out to your agency if that's going to work out better for you to do the referral program. Okay, so the materials that are available now, they are all available either via email or on our website under the Downloads and Resource section under the SNAP tab. And the other two things that I spoke to you about should be available by July 1, and you should be able to find them on our website as well. So with that, I just want to thank all of you, and we certainly can still take some questions, but I really do want to thank you for your time today and allowing me to talk to you about our member referral program. We certainly appreciate all that you do to serve your communities. I know I appreciate you helping, and Chris is actually one of our member agencies that's part of referral program, and it's great. It's wonderful. She's sent in some great referrals to help her clients, and so, you know, myself along with everybody else at the food banks, certainly very grateful for your partnerships.
All right, and before we sign off, let's see a show of hands. With your, next to your name, there should be a little icon of a hand. Raise your hand if you're interested and you're actually going to sign up for the program this coming year. Let's see a show of hands in the next 5 seconds.
Free money.
Free money.
Free money.
All right, Tabitha's in.
Okay, Tabitha.
Let's see who else. We have Mr. Cleveland Way, Darlene, she's in, John, Judy, Chris, of course, you're in. Michelle. Wow, that's awesome. That's wonderful.
Hey, we're so excited to have you guys on board, and thank you so much. And again, any questions, any concerns, I'm always available by phone or by email, so feel free to reach out to me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Tara. Thank you to all our participants. Thank you, Jen, for coming and participating as well. Thanks for all of you as well. As Tara said, we couldn't do it without you. We would be a food warehouse, so thank you for all that you do every day in your community. You'll be receiving a follow-up presentation in addition to the referral form as an attachment, the additional resources, including the Comcast, all of those wonderful things. You'll also get automatically this recording. So I know you'll get it automatically as well. And before you close out, there is going to be an evaluation to pop up on your screen. Please take a few moments to help us judge this. Yeah. We're going to judge this session. Yeah, we need it.
Please.
But it also helps us plan for future sessions. So we appreciate your feedback on that. And yes, we did do a shameless plug for the conference coming up August 25th in Hershey. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.